Good morning. This is Mrs. Merrill. Today we're going to be talking about learning target objective 1.3, which is how to write a repeating decimal as a fraction. The terms that you're going to see today are terminating decimal, repeating decimal, and fraction. Let's begin by talking about how you convert a decimal to a fraction. I'm talking about just a regular terminating decimal. This would be review that you've done in previous math classes. Remember that a terminating decimal is a decimal that stops, that ends, that terminates. When I am trying to take a terminating decimal and I'm trying to write it as a fraction, I have three steps. I read it, I write it, and I reduce it. Now let's review a problem to see if you can remember doing this. If I ask you to take the terminating decimal 1.25 and change it to a fraction, the first step is to read it. Now, I don't mean read it like I just did, 1.25. I mean read it putting in the decimal place value. In other words, that decimal is really read 1 25 hundredths. So I read it to myself 1 25 hundredths, and then I write it that way, 25 hundredths. Notice how I wrote it, 25 over 100. Then the last step is to reduce it, and remember when I reduce a fraction, I am looking for a common factor in both the numerator and the denominator, and in 25 and 100, I see that common factor there is 25. So I took 25 out of both numerator and denominator and came up with 1 1/4. Let's look at another one. Suppose I ask you in sample problem number 2 to convert 4.5 to its fraction counterpart. Now remember, I have to read it with its true place value. So that really is 4 5/10. Remember, the 5 is in tenths spot. The first decimal place is tenths, remember? The second decimal spot is hundredths, and the third decimal spot would be thousandths if you needed that. So we're going to read it, write it, and reduce it. So here we go. I'm reading it as 4 5/10. I write it as that, see, 4 5/10. Then I reduce it by taking out a common factor of both numerator and denominator, which is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So my reduced form then would be 4 1/2. Now you try sample problem 3 and see if you can do it. Convert this terminating decimal, 0.04, to its fraction counterpart. Read it, write it, and reduce it. So read it. Again, don't read it 0.04. I want you to read it with its true decimal place value. And then write it, and then reduce it. And here it is. When I read it, the 0.04 is 4 hundredths. Notice the 4 is in the second spot. That's hundredths. So 4 over 100. I then look at the 4 and the 100, and I try to think of a common factor that would go into both, which is 4. So I get 1/25. Now I have one more that I would like us to look at, and I have picked this one because it has a negative. However, that isn't going to make any difference in how you do it. You're just going to carry the negative along with it. So I'm going to once again read it, write it, and reduce it. So let's read it. It's -5 12 hundredths. 12 hundredths. So write it. So there we go. Notice the negative just stays in front. I'm not doing anything different. The negative stays in front. So -5 12 over 100. I then have to reduce it, which is the last step in converting a terminating decimal to a fraction. And I find a common factor of 4 between the 12 and the 100. And 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. So we get the answer, -5 3/25. Now, let's take a look at the new material, which is today's true lesson. This is Learning Target 1.3, which is learning how to change a repeating decimal to a fraction. Now, remember, we've just practiced in the previous 4 examples. We're changing decimals to fractions, but the type of decimal that we were working with is terminating, one that stops, one that ends. Now we're going to look at a procedure for how you change a repeating decimal to a fraction. So basically, the procedure for this is you're going to set up 2 equations and you're going to subtract them. Now, let me try to show you how you're going to go about doing this by looking at the steps. So there are 4 steps that we need to follow when you're trying to change a repeating decimal to a fraction. Step 1, let x be the repeating decimal. Step 2, multiply by a power of 1, 10, or 100 to create 2 equations that isolate the repeating part of the decimal. Step 3, subtract these 2 equations so that you can eliminate the repeating part of the decimal. And then step 4, go ahead and solve the remaining equation by using algebra steps. Now, let me try to explain this to you by looking at some sample problems. Here is sample problem 1. Notice, it is a repeating decimal that I am trying to change to a fraction. Notice it's 0.6. Notice the ellipsis on the end, those 3 dots, remember that means and so on, goes on forever. So it's 0.6666666 and so on and so on. All right, so the first step is that you're going to let x equal that repeating decimal. The second step is to multiply by a power of 10 that will allow us to eliminate the decimal. So look what I've done. Here you see that the x equals the repeating decimal. And then I multiplied by 10 because if I move over 1 spot, when I subtract the decimal part, they'll cancel each other out. So I multiplied by 10. Now, all I do then, see when I subtract, all those repeating decimals subtract out from each other. They're gone. So then I just take the 6 minus the 0, which is just 6, and the 10 minus, remember that the coefficient in front of that x is 1, so 10 minus the 1, which gives you 9, and then you just solve the equation, 9x equals 6, and so to do that, I simply take the 9 on the left, and I divide both sides by that 9. So then I get x equals 6/9, which reduces to 2/3. Now, let's try it again. We're going to try several of these to hopefully you'll get the hang of it. All right, let's take a look here at sample problem number 2. All right, suppose that I want to change 1.25252525 and so on to its decimal, from the repeating decimal to its fraction counterpart. So I let x equal the repeating decimal. So see, look, x equals 1.252525. Then I am going to multiply so that I can get the repeating decimal part to cancel. So if I multiply by 100, then I will get, see how it will match up? 25, 25, 25, 25. So I multiplied by 100. Then I subtract them. Remember the coefficient in front of the x, there's 1. So 100 minus 99, minus 1 gives us 99. And notice on the right-hand side, when I subtract out the decimals, they're gone. They cancel each other out. And then I have 125 minus 1, which is 124. I divide both sides by 99. Now, I'm going to have you kind of try one here before I show you how to do it. We've got a couple more that I want us to look at. Try this. All right, so what's my first step? Well, let x equal that. Remember, x is the part that you want to cancel out. It's going to be the repeating decimal. Because remember, I want to get rid of that. So I'm changing it from repeating into terminating. So what do you think? Well, step 2, I have to multiply by something. So I want the 18181818 to cancel out. So what are you thinking? So multiply and then subtract so that the repeating part cancels out. And here it is. I multiply by 100 because remember I want the 181818 to cancel each other out. So then when I move the decimal 2 places to the right, I got the 18.1818. Notice when I subtract, again, the coefficient on that x is 1, and 100 minus the 1 gives me 99. The repeating part cancels out. I just have then 18 minus 0, which is 18. I divide both sides by the 99, which then gives me the 18 over 99. And then again, you have to reduce. Think about taking out a common factor, which in this case is 9. So I get 2 11ths. Now, let's try. I got one more. And so let's have you try it again before I show you the answer. So make x that. Now, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? I need it. I need the repeating part to cancel out. What's the repeating part? Well, the repeating part is the 17171717. Notice the 37 doesn't repeat. It's only the 171717 part. So what are you thinking? I want that to cancel out. So what are we going to do? This one's a little trickier. Well, in this case, let's take a look at what I've done. And I wanted to show you this because it's a little different than the previous ones that you've looked at. Notice what I had to do here. I had to multiply I didn't let x be the existing terminating decimal. I couldn't do it. I had to multiply both of them by something in order to get the canceling. Sometimes you'll have to do this on problems where you cannot get the repeating part to cancel out. So this one's different in that, notice this time I didn't let x equal the repeating part because x wasn't the repeating part. The repeating part was not the 3, 7 in it. It was just the 7171. The 3 was not part of the repeating. So in that case, notice what I had to do. X has to represent the repeating part. So in order to do that, I had to multiply by 10 so that I could get the repeating part. So when I multiplied it by 10, notice I got 7171 as the repeating part. Then I had to multiply by 1000. Again, remember, you've got to get the repeating part to cancel out. Now, when I did that and subtracted, you see how the 7171, 7171, so on canceled out. And then I took 1000 minus the 10, which normally that would be a 1, but because that wouldn't work in this case, because again, the 3 does not repeat, I had to multiply it so that I could get the repeating part to cancel out. So then I got 990 when I subtracted, and when I subtracted on the right hand side, I got the 368. I then divided both sides by the 990, and then I reduced to get the 184 over the 495. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for listening.